we're going to take a little break from talking about the Holy Spirit. But I've been thinking about this particular sermon for a few weeks. It's been like on the slow cooker in my head, and I thought that this week, in the middle of the holidays, I could do something a little differently. I wouldn't upset too many people, perhaps. I've titled this message, What God Sees. And it's my prayer that today we might be encouraged, blessed, and strengthened by what that really is, by what God really sees. Let's pray, and I just want to read a short passage for us. Father God, we want to thank you for this time. Father, thank you that we live in a place where we can do this, where we can be quiet. A place, Father, where if we want to, we can cut the noise out. And Father, I pray, Lord, that this morning as we come just to this short time, we would hear you, because, Father, that just makes all the difference. And help us to see what you see, we pray. In Jesus' name. Amen. So Psalm 139, verses 13 to 18. Lots of you know this. The psalm is a favourite for you. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I'm awake, I'm still with you. It's a beautiful passage, yeah? It has potential. Potential to lift us, affirm us, to build us up, to build our sense of worth both to ourselves and our worth to God. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. God, the master craftsman, has woven us together in the deep, hidden, secret places. He's overseen everything, and nothing was hidden from his eyes. You know, this has been such a great source of comfort. Oh, look at that. What did I do, Glenda? That's better. Great source of comfort to so many people, hasn't it? A great pain to many others. Obviously, this verse can be quite challenging, can't it? You know, it's hard to stand on them when there's a genetic issue or something like that. Physical or mental challenges that people are born with. And more now in our world, we see people in that space. They're placed on the outer edges of the bell curve for what society considers as normal. Often that challenge is met with defiance and a cry made on behalf of all those placed in the outer regions. I'm as good as anyone else. And yes, they are. They're just as valuable, just as worthy of love and salvation, just as worthy of the gospel and the kingdom of God. And there are others as well who for other reasons doubt the validity of those verses. Life has come to them in a way that has made it really hard to believe that God is interested in them at all, let alone that he oversaw their construction, let alone that they are fearfully and wonderfully made. While they're physically fine to everyone else, to themselves, not so much. While others seem to find it easy to make choices and decisions about almost everything, for them decisions are always hard, choices are always difficult, and they get stuck on them all the time. People say of them they lack self-esteem, they lack confidence. People say they worry too much. The Bible says they should not be anxious for anything. For this group of people, you might as well be saying you're too short or too tall. Or you're the wrong coloured skin or the wrong sex. They feel broken. And yet this passage is written for them too, isn't it? I want to watch this short video from the Skit Guys, of all people, that addresses concerns just like this. And when it's over, I just want to make a few summary remarks and comments, and hopefully we'll be able to see it okay with the windows open.
In my last year of high school, her name was Stacy. Stacy was a believer. She's realized that, we love God and we love others. And that was her mission. That's what she did. She loved God and she loved others. Where I would be afraid and I would look at how she would intermingle with everybody and share Jesus with people, I just thought that was like, God, I don't get that. How can she just go out there and do that? But she would do that. So I want to tell you I want to tell you a story about Stacy and a guy in our class, in our school, named Dennis.
Hi, my name is Dennis, and it's okay if you laugh, I'm used to it. I'm supposed to tell you my story, so it goes something like this. I was at school, one day, and at my locker, and I dropped my books, right? And that's probably not a big deal to you, but to me it's a whole production to try and pick them back up, So I'm standing there in the hallway trying to use the force, And the force was not with me, And all of a sudden this pretty blonde-haired girl walks up and she says, "Hey, my name's Stacy, can I help you?" And I was like, "How about you do that?" Yeah. So Stacy picked up my books and she said, "Hey, how about I carry these to your class?" And I was like, who am I to keep a pretty girl from doing her good deed of the day, So she carried my books to class, and the whole time she just talk. We got to my class, and she set my books on my desk, and she said, "Dennis, I'm so sorry. I didn't even let you get a word in edgewise." And I was like, "It is okay, And then she just kind of stopped, and she looked at me, and she said, "Hey," she said, "I got a great idea." She said, "Me and some of my friends are going roller skating tomorrow night. Why don't you join us?" And I was like, I don't do so well on wheels, And I barely do okay on feet, And she said, "It's okay. I will help you." I said, "Okay," So that next day, Stacy came and picked me up and took me to the skating rink. I don't know who was more scared, me or the guy I handed my money to and said, "Size 9.5, please." Stacy helped me get my skates on, and for a while I just sat over to the side, but it felt so good just to be included, And then Stacy skated over and she said, "Hey, Dennis, come on out and skate." And I was like, No, I'm good. And she said, "No, come on." I was like, "No, it's cool." She said, "Come on, I will help you." I said, "Okay." So Stacy helped me out to the skating rink. You should have seen everybody's eyes. They were like, "What?" I just looked at them and I was like, "It's cool, I'm a professional skater, We all got out on the skating rink, and this leg went that way, and this leg went that way. with Stacy's help, I made it around the skating rink twice. And it was fantastic, you know? After we finished skating, Stacy was dropping me off at my house. And she said, hey, Dennis, I've got another great idea. She said, tomorrow night, my family is having a cookout and going swimming. Why don't you join us? And I was like, you see this body? It don't float, you know? She just smiled and she said, it's okay. I will help you. I said, okay, you know? So that next day, my mom took me to the store and bought me a swimsuit and dropped me off at Stacy's house. It was so great just to feel the sun on my body, you know? And Stacy was in the pool. I was sitting on the edge. And she said, Dennis, why don't you hop in the water? And I was like, no, I'm good. She said, no, come on. I was like, no, it's okay. She said, it's okay. I will help you. I said, okay. So Stacy helped me down into the shallow end of the pool, and I was like, She said, no, come in the deep end. And I was like, no, I'm good, you know. She said, no, come on. I was like, no. She said, come on, I will. And I stopped her and I went, I know, you will help me, you know. And she just smiled, you know. And she said, I will if you'll let me, you know. I said, okay. And so Stacy held out her arms and helped me float in the deep end. It was fantastic, you know. After we'd finished swimming, we were eating hamburgers and Stacy was telling me about all of her dreams and plans, and I'll tell you right now, that girl could change the world, you know. And then she stopped and she just looked at me and she said, hey, Dennis. She said, tell me about your dreams. And I said, I don't really have any. She said, come on, everybody has dreams. I was like, nope, not me. And she kept persisting, and finally I just got frustrated with her. So I looked at her and I said, okay, Stacy. She said, you want to know my dreams? I'll tell you my dreams. I said, in my dreams, this old leg is straight, just like everybody else's. And I said, in my dream, this old hip is right in place, just like everybody else's. And I can run and jump, no problem. And I said, in my dreams, these old crippled hands are no longer crippled. And if I drop my books, I just bend down and pick up my books, no problem. And I said, in my dreams, I don't need these old glasses to see anymore. I said, in my dreams, my mouth is normal, just like everybody else's. And in my dreams, I don't look different than anyone else. And in my dreams, nobody talks about me behind my back or makes fun of me. In my dreams, I'm normal. In my dreams, I don't hate what I see in the mirror. But then, I always realize it's just a dream. We sat there in silence, much like this, for what seemed like an eternity. And then I'll never forget what Stacy said that day. She looked me square in the eye. She said, Dennis, that's the dumbest dream I've ever heard. I was like, well, you sure know how to make a cripple guy feel good. She shook her head and she looked at me and she said, no, Dennis. She said, look, God does not look on the outward appearance, right? She looked at me and she said, Dennis, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. I looked at her and I said, no, Stacy, I'm a joke. She just shook her head at me. She said, oh, Dennis. She said, you are so busy looking on the outside. She said, God doesn't look on the outside. He looks at the heart. And she said, you've got a great heart, Dennis. She was right. I guess it was probably like 2 or 3 weeks later. Stacy came by my locker. She said, hey, Dennis, I got another great idea. I was like, oh boy. She said, why don't you join me at my church tonight? And I was like, surprise. But I went to Stacy's church. And Stacy's God, who looks at the heart, became my God, who looks at the heart. And I know the truth. I know some of you, just like I used to, you hate what you see in the mirror. My feelings are obvious. Some of you, yours are hidden. But you know what? There is a God who looks at the heart. And I said, Stacy, how can he just look at my heart and not see all my failings? And she said, it's called grace. And I remember they sang this song that night. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Blind, but now I see. Thank you.
It's a pretty good video. Yeah. It touches on a lot of things that afflict people. And there's so many things we could highlight. I just want to briefly talk about 2 of those. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. From where God looks, he sees each of us as created to reflect him in every place, both seen and unseen, both physical and spiritual. Whether we want to believe it or not, God's wisdom and care was poured into the process of weaving us together. None of us are a mistake or an accident. Not one of us. Not one of the people you live next door to. Not one of the people who you work with. Not one of the people you go to school with. Not one of the people anywhere. It's a mistake or an accident. It's not easy to believe though when all we can see are our faults and our failures, or their faults or their failures. The ways we don't measure up, the rules we seem to break, the social norms we can never seem to get right. But I reckon it's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. Perspective. What we see and don't see. Perspective is where we see things from, isn't it? God says to us in Paul's letter to the Ephesians that we are seated together with Christ in the heavenly places. A part of God telling us this is so that we might see things from his perspective, from where he is. Often we're concerned with God dwelling with us and God dwelling in us. But it's equally true that we dwell with him and are seated with him. I remember times in my life when things have seemed bad and there's not appeared to be a way out. But when I see things from where Jesus is, when I've known that I'm seated with him, I have peace. Did my circumstances change? Not at all. My attitude changed because my perspective changed. Circumstances. What about them? They sometimes seem and loom really large in our life. Dennis, I thought, was quite normal to have a dream like he dreamt. Yeah? I mean, it makes your eyes fill with water when you hear him say that. This is his dream. Because you want that for him. And you want that for people who are in a similar position. Circumstance. So often our dreams are about changing our circumstance, aren't they? That's what we dream. We dream God would do this for us. We dream about changing things which are physically wrong, mentally wrong, emotionally wrong, socially wrong, spiritually wrong. If only if those things were put right, my life would be good. My life would be okay. We dream about having stuff. A lot of stuff sometimes. We dream about having the right job. We dream about being in the right relationships. If only I had someone beautiful who loved me just the way I am, I could enjoy life. Circumstances. Yeah. Often that's what we want God to do. Change my circumstances, God, and then I'll follow, trust and believe. But we need to know that our circumstances do not reveal God's heart. I keep forgetting this. His relationship with us is not just as a needs provider. He's not the NDIS. Yeah. He's not the health system. It's so much more. Yeah? Our God, our circumstances are the context or the stage upon which God displays his faithfulness, power and love. Can God change our circumstances? Yeah, it can. How many of you have prayed and asked God, please change my circumstances, and he hasn't? How many of us prayed that? Seriously, absolutely. We all have, haven't we? God, change this. And have we done it sincerely? Yes, we have. Have we had faith that he may do that? Yes, we have. But sometimes our circumstances are the very canvas, the very backdrop, the very thing that will make his character stand in relief to the noise around us. This morning I want to encourage you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, each and every one of you. My God knit you together in the secret places, and his thoughts towards you are so many and are so precious. For some of you, that might be hard to believe. There's a recurring phrase in that video, isn't there? Dennis would say, no, and the response would be, let me help you. And then he would do it and he would be amazed. And I think this is God's word to you. If you find that that being fearfully and wonderfully made is something hard to believe, then hear the voice of the Holy Spirit. Let me help you. If you want, we're just going to close now. I can ask the worship team come forward. You know, if you want to come forward, someone will pray with you. Sometimes it's just good to break the mold, to get out of our seats. Some of us know people, or have people in our lives, we know they struggle with this. We know that this is just where they're right at. They can't see past their circumstances, so they can't change their perspective. I want to encourage you to bring them before God as we worship.